Hello, everybody. This is Kyla Newland with Mountain Pacific Quality Health here today to chat with everyone about how to keep yourself healthy and safe this fall respiratory season. So today I'm just going to cover a few things, a few of the viruses that we're going to see circulating this fall again, and how we can help protect ourselves. The RSV virus is a respiratory syncytial virus, very kind of tongue twister for RSV. It's a common respiratory virus that usually causes mild cold-like symptoms. Most people recover in a week or two, but RSV can be very serious, especially in patients that are older or in young children or babies. And so this fall, we're really excited because there are 2 RSV vaccines that are going to be on the market. And these can reduce chances of adults getting RSV by quite high percentages, anywhere from 82 to 86% effective. And we know that a higher percentage of adults, about 60% of patients or adults that get RSV end up in the hospital with potentially other complications. So that's why this is such good news that we're going to have this vaccine for us this fall. So the CDC recommends all people age 60 and older may get the vaccine based on a decision that they would make with their healthcare provider or their primary care provider. That can include their pharmacist or whoever their primary care provider is, to look at risk factors and make sure it's an appropriate vaccine. We do see RSV kind of peak in that winter season, so it is available now. I would recommend getting it as soon as possible. Have that conversation with your healthcare provider to make sure it's right for you, and get it as soon as you can. We have it available at most pharmacies now, currently, and it is covered under Medicare Part D plans. It is covered fairly well at this point. We are seeing a little bit of delay in getting the RSV vaccine on some of the other insurance plan formularies, but they are slowly adding it as they go through the process of getting that approved through their Pharmacy and Therapeutics Committee. So just check with your insurance company to see if it's covered. Hopefully we'll have all insurances covering it as it kind of gets to be one of our normal vaccines. So they're very similar to other vaccines. So we see fatigue, soreness at the injection site, arthralgia, and that was seen with both of the products that are on the market. Very similar to what we see with other vaccines. We don't know right now. Right now it's a 1-dose vaccine, but we don't know if there'll be additional doses needed in the future. Based on the studies that are being conducted on RSV vaccines, continuing to see what the duration of efficacy is. So those studies are ongoing, but right now it's just that 1 dose. So the answer is, the CDC has said it can be administered with other vaccines, but we could see a higher risk of those side effects, which is really no different than what we see with other vaccines when we give them together. Sometimes we will see more of those kind of muscle soreness, weakness, or even just the fatigue being a little bit more because your body's having a double immune response to different viruses. So they did, in one of the RSV vaccines, they studied the difference in the immune response when they gave them together or 1 month apart, and they did not see any differences in that immune response. So that's good news. So currently we know that we can do flu and COVID together. We know we can do flu and RSV together, or RSV with other vaccines, but we don't have any additional information on getting all 3 at one time. So that's going to be a decision that you can make with your healthcare provider. So one more thing that I would like to mention about RSV is there was also a monoclonal antibody approved just recently. And this product is approved for pediatric population. So this is our other higher risk population for getting RSV. So there's 1 dose of this recommended for babies that are 8 months of age or less, born in their first season of RSV. And then for other more high risk babies, such as premature infants, they recommend a 2nd dose going into that 2nd RSV season, or that 2nd season of life that they are 8 to 19 months. So in mid-September, the ACIP is meeting to make a decision and approve the final fall vaccine, which is going to be a monovalent vaccine. So it's going to cover one particular strain that we saw predominantly in June of 2023, and that is the XBB 1.5. So we have seen some newer strains come out since then, but all the manufacturers have reported that their new formula still covers those new variants pretty well. So we will get more final word on that in mid-September, and it should be available by late September. Everybody 6 months and older should get a flu vaccine. The CDC recommends we get it in September or October, ideally by the end of October. And sometimes it depends too on if we're seeing early flu activity. So if we were seeing some earlier flu activity, like I know we did last year, you'd want to go ahead and get it right away, because it does take 10 to 14 days to become fully effective in producing that antibody response. So some years we match the flu vaccine to the circulating strain, almost up to like 60%. But other years we miss it a little bit and we're not quite as close. But the good news is, if you do get your flu shot and you still contract the flu, you will have lesser symptoms and hopefully a lesser severity of disease. Avoid hospitalization and other things that can happen, such as pneumonia. So there is a special flu vaccine for patients, not a special, but a preferred vaccine for people 65 and older. And that's because as our immune system, as we get older, our immune system doesn't react as strongly. And so there are 2 products on the market that are recommended for patients 65 and older. And you should ask your pharmacist or provider if they have these products, because they do produce a better immune response in people that are 65 and older. Most of them are preservative-free. The ones on the market this year, they're 91% are preservative-free. And the only ones that are going to have that preservative in them is going to be multi-dose vials. And that's just because we have to keep those products preserved, because we're giving multiple doses. So about 21% of the flu vaccines this year will be egg-free. However, the CDC does not recommend that you cannot get any flu vaccine if you are allergic to eggs. So that's a conversation you definitely would that you would need to have with your provider to determine if you would like to get an egg-free formula because of maybe a previous reaction or a severe allergy. Many folks may have heard that there's some combo vaccines coming out. We're not going to have those this year for our flu season, but we do know that there is a combo COVID and flu vaccine in development. And so we will look for that in the future years. And then there's also some new technology for flu vaccines that might make them more effective against these emerging strains. So that's something to look out for in future years. Everybody 65 and older should get a pneumonia vaccine, but there's also a lot of patients that have other risk factors that makes it so you need to get one before age 65. So that includes people that have diabetes, people that have any kind of lung dysfunction, asthma, cigarette smoking, any kind of immunocompromising condition would make you eligible to get a pneumonia vaccine before you're age 65. So that would be something that you would have a conversation with your provider about. The side effects for pneumonia vaccines are very similar to the other vaccines, including that muscle soreness, weakness, fatigue, maybe a low-grade fever, but pretty standard as far as side effects go. There are several products on the market. There's been a change in the products in the last couple of years, so it is important to get with your healthcare provider and ask them which pneumonia vaccine is appropriate for you. And sometimes if you've already had a pneumonia vaccine, there might be one of those newer products that'll give you a little bit more coverage or protection. So definitely have that conversation with your provider to find out if you need any more doses and get yourself up to date. So I hope everybody has a healthy and happy fall. And remember to go get your shots wherever you can. Thank you.